It's April 24th, 2025. I actually just tried to make a video and the freaking screen froze, so I'm gonna try this again, and I'm gonna like kind of not go over everything that I went over because literally I can talk for hours, so I'm gonna try to keep it brief. Fingers crossed. Anyway, since my last video, I feel like it has been super busy. I have been working a lot, and I'm now down 2 coworkers. So, and they're both like doing the same role as me, so it's like literally just me hanging out there until they hire somebody. And by the time they get trained and whatnot, it's like I'm just trying to go for it the next 2 months, and I think I have like 10 apartment leases that I collected this month, and the month is not even over, so it's like a lot to keep track of. Yeah, I've never had that many. I mean, I just started this job like 4 months ago, so my first month I had 1 application. Same with February. March I had like 3, and yeah, 10 is a lot. 10 is a lot of people to keep track of. Anyway, yeah, I pretty much have no life. But what's good is because I have so many applications, my paycheck in June will be excellent because I booked a trip to Spain because I knew I'd be super burnt out the next few weeks. So I figured by the time they hire somebody and like I train them on all the important stuff, that they should be okay on their own in mid-June. Regardless, I'm going. It's not even approved, but I said, hey, I already booked my ticket. It's happening. So they're gonna have to just figure it out because I need it. But anyway, yeah, life has been very cuckoo. There's just, yeah, my regular job going on. I have my other job, which is Fox Nomad, which today we put out this video of this project we have been working on for months. I would love for everyone to check it out. So it's essentially like how a blind traveler travels the world. And we linked up with Haley Kennedy. She is bald and beautiful. She also toured 193 of the UN countries, and so Anil and I were talking about it and kind of planning this idea last June. And in July is like when we started to like reach out to different airlines and airports and trying to coordinate the logistics of how to film in these areas, because obviously you can't film in certain restricted areas of the airport. Anyway, the filming took place in January, and then with the editing and whatnot, he just released it today to the public channel. So I'm super excited. And then by chance, about like 2 days ago, or maybe it was 3 days ago, he was like, oh, do you want to like do a podcast episode about like kind of like the behind the scenes of this? And I was like, yeah. And so this morning we have that coming out soon too. So I'm speaking. I was super nervous this morning. I don't know if it was like the time or just like the fact that I'd never had done this before. It made me nervous, especially because like I had to like go back into my notes and kind of follow this chain of email and like create this timeline of like how this all happened, you know, because when you're in it, I don't know, I don't really like focus on it. I'm just like, okay, what do I need to do to like make this happen? But looking back on it is super cool because I'm just like, actually it was a lot of emails, and I reached out to like, I don't even know, 20 different airlines and at least like 6 different airports or more actually. Yeah, so I'm super proud of it. I'll try to add that video once it becomes available. So it's a lot of things happening all at the same time, and it's exciting. I also, so in my last video, I was in New York, right? And I was just like not feeling it. I was just like, I think tired and just didn't really have fun. I think at that time, I was just like literally just working and coming home, going to sleep early, working. Like that was it. So I felt like a little fishbowl swimming around in its small little um bowl. Anyway, after that, I couldn't stop thinking about like doing an Akashic Records reading, and I have been doing them the last 3 years, I want to say, which I find them super helpful. Especially like when I'm kind of like stuck and feeling down, and I don't want to like tell the same friends like the same situation, you know, I need like answers from somebody else that I don't know. But yeah, pretty much like when I did the reading, it pretty much confirmed everything I already was thinking. But like obviously I don't know this person, so like there's no way she could know, you know, the thoughts going on in my head. But she would just like say things without me even like asking questions. But yeah, I do want to say like a few weeks ago, I think I was just like frustrated and feeling stuck. And I feel like I've done so much like internal work that I was just like, well, where is everything? I thought I'd be in Rome. I thought I'd like have like a relationship and like that life would look differently, but it does look differently, but not in the way I intended it to. So I think as soon as like we did or started the reading, she mentioned like, hey, I feel like this like heavy energy, and pretty much it feels as if that you think that you're like going backwards in life. And then she asked about the situation with the family, which like have been living back home the last few months, and it has its benefits, of course. But I also feel like, damn, like my independence is gone, and like my sanctuary, I guess. At least that's how I felt about my old apartment. I felt like it was like the place where I could really be me and kind of like do art and like not be disturbed, or like if I come home in a bad mood, like I don't really have to like put on an act like everything's okay and I have a handle on stuff. Like I can just like be me and unwind. And here I feel like because there's just so many people around all the time, and like, oh, she has like an attitude after she gets home from work. I'm like, yeah, I've been literally talking to like 20 people like all day. Like I'm exhausted, and like driving in traffic, I'm just like, I'm over it. Or like it's just other life shit that I don't want to like really talk about, or I'm not ready to open up about, but like I feel this like weird pressure to like put on a facade and be like, oh yeah, everything's great, like that's it. So she touched upon that. Anyway, with I'm like trying to read my notes because this was a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I did ask about last year's reading, because last year's reading made it sound like, okay, shit's gonna look a lot differently. Like I will be in Rome and I will be starting that job that I thought I would. And yeah, I just asked about that, which she said like, it's not like it's not gonna happen, but there's something that you need to like work on to get that, like you're like kind of like blocking yourself in a way, because you're putting too much focus on it and too much like expectation that that's like the only way, when actually there's like multiple ways that it can happen, and you're still kind of like sorting stuff out with yourself about like who you are. And she did touch upon like a few things, like essentially saying like, I'm not putting myself out there, which honestly yeah, I'm kind of like at baby steps because I've had this idea to create a website and to kind of like have this portfolio of all of my like previous work. But I have been slacking. I haven't done it because I am a bit afraid. Because I don't want to be exposed, even though I'm here on freaking YouTube talking about my feelings. But like, even with this, I'm not like putting hashtags and like sharing this with my friends. It's just like whoever comes across it, and that's it. Anyway, I have an issue with exposure. I don't like it. Even when I had to record this this podcast episode today, I was like super freaking nervous, and like the thought of people just looking at it made me super anxious, which I even told Anil, the guy that I work with. Anyway, yeah. So I need to put myself out there in terms of like creating a website, like attending like webinars and events online or in person. And then I need to go back into my creative field a bit because I feel like I have abandoned it the last few months because I am at home and I feel like I can't. There's just like too many eyes and too many opinions, if that makes sense. Anyway, so this is all a work in progress, and I'm gonna continue saying yes to different opportunities that come my way. But I think, like, I swear, like, creating my own website has been on my like journal the last like 4 years, and I have not done it. And I feel like that is something that's super easy to do, but for some reason scares the hell out of me, which means I need to do it ASAP. Otherwise, it's gonna be 2026 and I'm still gonna be talking about it. But anyway, what else happened lately? I went on a date, and the guy weirdly had a lot in common, and he's the first spiritual person that I've dated. Like, he talked a lot about consciousness, like showed me all the books he has. Like, we literally have the same books and like same kind of mindset. He's definitely into like the theory of it, and I'm more like, yeah, well, I've done Akashic Records reading, I've done Reiki. I'm like very experimental when it comes to this. But yeah, it's been interesting. I don't know where it's gonna go, but it was very like refreshing to actually talk with him. And we talked about other stuff because he also mostly lived in this area, but in DC. So a lot of the same like childhood stuff we talked about, which is pretty wild. But we'll see. I don't know anymore. I'm just living my life. I guess that's the gist of the last few weeks. I feel like the next few weeks also coming up, I will have no life. So I will try to post a video soon. It might be longer than I thought. We shall see. Anyway, take care, everyone. Till next time.